This is my American Fender Stratocaster, made in 1984. The colour is teal green and it's metallic. And I've actually made some modifications to it, so I'm just going to show you what I've done, and maybe it'll inspire you to make some modification to yours. When I first got the guitar, it had a lot of white on it. This was white, these were chrome, these were all white, all these plastic bits. The tunes at the top were chrome, and I wanted to change that for a start, just aesthetically. I think it looks a lot nicer in black, so I did that. I've got one of these missing that needs replacing, and there's some special parts on here. I've changed these, and now these are actually graphtech saddles, so these help you not to snap strings as much. They're really great actually. I don't think I've snapped a string since I've put them on. And you can also get a graphtech nut here, which is basically, it just helps the strings run smoother. You can do other things. I've as you can see on this, I've just been putting some pencil lead in there. There's all sorts of different tricks you can get, because this is the original nut, so you can do all that stuff. But I'll probably get a graphtech one for that, and it'll be black as well, so it'll match. But I've been saying that for 5 years and I've still not done it. So these pickups are Seymour Duncan, and these are cool rails in the neck, which is my favourite. It sounds amazing. I've got a vintage rails in the middle, and I've got a JB Junior in the bridge at the back, which I use a lot. I've tried the hot rails. I personally didn't like it as much as this. The distortion sounds were good, but the clean sounds were pretty terrible, I thought. I also tried a little 59, which clean sounds were amazing, but the distortion sounds were not as crunchy as high gain. So I tried this one, and this did it for me. It's not perfect, but the clean sounds and the distortion sounds sound pretty great. And I've got this switching system put in, so I can get so many different variations of sound. It's pretty nice. So if I've got the neck selected here, this is in humbucker mode, and if I do this, this is in single coil mode. So basically, just these buttons, these switches, just split the coils. If you don't know what that means, then go and do some research. I'm not so technical of how you actually do it, but basically one of these is working instead of both of the rails. So that's what that does. Same with this. This is single coil for the bridge, this one, and this would be in humbucker mode, so all them would be active. So basically, if I went, let's say, humbucker mode in the bridge, and then I switched the pickup selector, so 2 pickups were active, what this would mean is I've got a single coil from this one active, so this inside one, and I've got both of these active. So then if I switch this to single coil mode, only this inside one is on, so that's in single coil, this is in single coil, so you've got these 2 active. If I've got that in the middle, this doesn't make any effect. This doesn't make any effect. This is just a standard humbucker. If I've got it like this, it's split it the other way now, so this would be active, and this inside one would be active because I've got it in single coil mode. Now if I went like that, that'd switch this other one on as well, so I've got a full humbucker in single coil space, obviously, and the inside of this one working. So there you go. That's what it does, and it sounds really nice. I use certain settings for different styles of music as well. The middle seems to be quite harsh, so if I want to cut through a lot, I'll use the middle pickup. This back one can be great for going into, solos, or I don't know, some kind of reggae, thin kind of sound. But also, I love to do this. I really like that sound. It's just so nice to have these two together. And I use that a lot just because it's a bit different. So there you go. Everything else is pretty standard, I think. So I've still got the normal strap locks on. The back of the guitar, that's still got the white thing on. What I have done actually, which is worth noting, is, I don't know if you'll be able to see, well, not really, you can only see the hooks, but I've put 5 springs in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think they normally come with 3 springs on, but I put 5. Now there's different reasons for that, but the reason I did it is to give the guitar a little bit more sustain. And again, do some research on all this technical stuff. I'm not going to go through it all now. But another reason you'd probably want to do that is if you put heavier strings on, which I have had on this. I use 10 gauge strings at the moment. I've had 11s on it. I think I've had 13s on it at one point. So I've done some experimenting, and it's all down to personal taste. You've got to sacrifice sound and tone sometimes for, you know, physical, impractical things like bending strings can be difficult with 13 gauge strings on when you're around here. So that's why people like Stevie Ray Vaughan would actually tune his guitar down. Yeah, there you go. I've got a smiley face on the top for no other reason that it's a nice smiley face. Doesn't mean anything. I've got a little dot there that covers up the hole which a tremolo arm would go in. I don't use the tremolo arm. I never really have. And when I have changed it and put the tremolo arm on, I realised I never really wanted to use it, so I've locked that down solid. As you can see, the bridge is down. I've put something underneath which you can't see, just to protect this metal part from damaging the paint. I don't know what it was. It might be a piece of paper or something like that, or some cardboard or rubber. I can't remember what it was actually, but that's just going to help that. So that's fixed down, locked down bridge. Do you know actually the advantage of having a lockdown bridge is if you hit the open string and then do a bend, the string doesn't detune. Now, it might detune a really tiny bit, but probably, you know, hardly really. So if you want to do that and then do a bend, which a lot of blues players like to do, that's a good advantage for having a lockdown bridge. Otherwise, if you've got a floating bridge, when you hit the string, you'll bend and then the bridge is going to move and it's going to detune all of your strings. So there's pros and cons. Depends what kind of style of music you play. So there you go, that's a brief overview of my electric guitar.